Hello and welcome back to part 7 of ideas from Orot HaTeshuva of Rav Avram Yitzchak HaKohen Kook. Rav Kook concludes that Shelo yesh neshama bodedet gargirit gidua behavia kula ela hakol mechubar mesurag va'arok. There is no such thing as a soul who is all by himself. There is no such thing as a Jew who exists independent of others. Rather, everything is intertwined. Every soul is wrapped in with all of the other souls. This idea of the achdus, of the oneness of Klal Yisrael, of the Jewish people, is a foundational idea in all of the writings of Rav Kook. The Gemara in Sanhedrin tells us that when the Nevi'im Achronim died, when the final prophets, Chagai, Zechariah, and Malachi, passed away, suddenly Nistalka Ruach HaKodesh mi Yisrael. The divine spirit was removed from Israel. Nonetheless, though they no longer had nevuah, prophecy, and they no longer had the Ruach HaKodesh, the divine spirit, they had now something called a bas kol. Mishtamshim be bas kol. Bas kol was a heavenly voice. It was the ability for holy people to hear the word of God in their interactions, both halachic and their daily lives. And so the story tells us that one time they were sitting in the aliyah of Beit Gurya in Yericho, and a bas kol descended from Shamayim, from heaven, and said, Yesh kan echad shera'ui shetishra lav shchina kemo Rabbeinu. There is someone in this room who is fit for the divine presence to reside upon him like it did by Moshe Rabbeinu. But the problem is we can't have a prophet like that today, because even though he exists, the generation is not ready for such a person. And who was it? It was Hillel. It was a reference to Hillel Hazakin, the student of Ezra. And then another time they were sitting in the Aliyah in Yavne, and a bas kol came down from Shemayim and said, there is someone who is fit for the Shekhinah to reside upon him like Hillel. And who was he? It was Shmuel HaKatan, the one who wrote the prayer of Al Shinim, the 19th of the Shemona Esrei of the Amidah, the 19th blessing against the heretics. Shmuel HaKatan. However, when Shmuel HaKatan died, he said, Hey Chassid, hey Anav, Talmido Shel Hillel, where is the righteous person? Where is the humble person? The student of Hillel. What the Gemara is teaching us is that when it comes to the Shekhinah resides, the divine presence resides upon special neshamos, special souls in every generation. There's Moshe Rabbeinu, there's Hillel Hazakin, there's Shmuel HaKatan, and there are people like this in every single door, people who are fit to receive the complete idea, the complete identity of the Shekhinah and spread it to the world. This idea is not just existent on the unique souls of the generation, but Rav Kook says it exists on every single Jew. The totality of the Jewish people comprise a picture of the presence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And so when it says, Lo takum v'lo titur, don't take revenge against the Jewish people. So what the Torah is really telling us, as the Yerushalmi, is it would be absurd to take revenge against another Jew. Why? Because it would be like, imagine your right hand was doing some woodwork and you accidentally cut your left hand with a saw or with a knife, and it hurts so bad and your left hand gets upset and your left hand goes and attacks the right hand back. That, the Yerushalmi says, is absurd, because your left hand and your right hand know they're all part of the same body, they're part of the same organism. Well, a Jew is part of the klal, a Jew is part of the same person. And so by taking revenge against another Jew, it's like taking apart another piece of you, another piece of the klal. In other words, God didn't just put the Shekhinah on one soul, but the Shekhinah is on every Jewish soul. And without each person, the picture of God in this world is just incomplete. The file is corrupted. And so taking revenge against another Jew is the most absurd thing you could ever do, because kiviyachol, you're taking revenge against yourself. This idea of achdus Yisrael, against the oneness of the Jewish people, is not just about the completion of spirituality, but the Rambam writes in Hilchos Tshuva, Perek Gimel, Haporesh midarchei hatzibor. If one separates from the tzibor, if you decide you're going to go your own way and make your own little congregation, a one-man congregation, a one-person operation, all of a sudden, you never did one sin in your life. You were tzaddik gamor. You were a righteous person in every single way. You never spoke lashon hara, and you never broke from learning Torah, and you never missed an opportunity to make a bracha. You never missed a minyan. All of these acts of tzidkus are worthless if a person is a porish midarkei tzibor, if they have nothing to do with the congregation. Why? Because how can you be a Jew if you're not connected to the right hand? How can you be a Jew if you're not connected to the left hand? And such a person, says the Gemara, Ein lo chelek l'olam haba. Rambam says afterwards he doesn't have a portion in the world to come. That idea is expressed time and time again, specifically in the book Orot of Rav Kook. The relationship, Hayacha shel Knesset Yisrael liyechidahu mishuna mikol hayichusim shel kol kibbutz lo meyuchidav. The relationship a Jew has to the oneness of the Jewish people, to the entirety of the Jewish people, is different than any relationship that any other people have with their compatriots. A Frenchman does not connect to all French people the same way. A Spaniard does not connect to all Spanish people the same way. But a Jew, no matter what his nationality, no matter where he lives, no matter what generation he lived in, is connected. I'm connected to every one of the 6 million who died in the Holocaust. I'm connected to everyone who was exiled from Israel in the Babylonian exile and the Roman exile. I'm connected to them. They're my family. They're me. They're part of who I am. And when you hear a crisis, when you hear, God forbid, something happens in Israel, a terrorist attack, lo aleinu, we are bleeding. We are feeling the tsar. That's the uniqueness of the Jewish people. We are all connected. One neshama, one united entity. And so now you understand. There's a new tshuva that has to do with the klal. If one Jew falls off the derech, it could be your husband, your wife, your child, your parent. It could be a Jew you never met. It could be a Jew living on the other side of the planet. But if they are not connected to the Shekhinah, then your image of God, your picture of Shekhinah, is missing, is lacking, has a hole in it. And tshuva, therefore, is not an individual job alone, but it is a job of a community. We do tshuva together as a klal. Join me next time for part 8 of Orot HaTeshuva.